Look, security is way more than just holding a flashlight. NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, we coming with another wonderful episode of Movie Reviews. And we're gonna push everything to the side because we're talking about Antonio Banderas and Ben Kingsley and Security. And this is another Netflix joint that kind of is in the action realm. I figured I'd have a good time with it. Netflix once again recommended this joint. Sometimes the recommendations are great, sometimes they're not. We're gonna find out which one this one is. So we're dealing with the man in Antonio Banderas, who's come home from from the military. He just seems to be having a string of bad luck, can't get a good job. Finally gets this job starting tonight, of course, as a security guard. I know the name of this movie, I know it could have been more, it could have been way more creative, but this is what we got. Security. So he's a security guard, he goes there, everything seems cool because you've got your cast of characters. You got the one that's way too worried about security. You got the boss that's like all gung-ho and like, I know everything about security. Then you got like the slacker. I mean, this is the group of people that he meets at the I guess the mall is very what you would consider formulaic. You got the scared one, you got the cool one, you got the lazy one, you got the one that's like the you got the one that's like the tech one, and they're all seemingly nice to him. I mean, I will say this, for the most part, they're good people, they're cool to him, they're not, they're not disrespectful or anything like that. But the guy that runs the place, the boss, is kind of like, like, I know everything. And while he's getting his learn on, I like the fact that the movie doesn't take a long time to get going. I do like that because the movie is like, okay, he's learning he's having his first day, getting dressed up. And over here we have, of course, what really starts our movie with the federal transport or whatever they want to call it. But they're transporting this young girl. She's going to be a witness. And it seems like the normal stuff. So now we have the setup, there's a guy security, there's the federal transport. Everything seems like a good night until the transport gets attacked. And I like how they handle it because they let you know very early on, this is not going to be a film where they're sort of scared to kill the kid. And I know that this is Hollywood and they're never gonna really kill a kid, but they at least put the child in danger in a way that I actually thought they might get the kid for a second because of the way they shot it, the way they handled the ambush that they did was pretty cool, man. They're flipping cars, they're shooting, they're picking off people, and homegirl just had to run on her own. And I figured this was gonna be a situation where maybe, she gets kidnapped first or they grab her on the way or something. But of course she does make it to our mall. And when she makes it to the mall, she's like screaming and crying. Antonio Banderas opens the door. And this is where we finally see some character. And this is where you're gonna get the best character of the film. Because at this moment, we know that we're dealing with a movie that's gonna be a survive the night film. And those are films that I like, but I think that they're starting to get in a rut where people just think survive the night films are easy to do, and they're not, because you have Wheelman, which is an amazing film that really ratchets up the intense vibe and the nature, and then you have something like Security, which is okay, but it's definitely formulaic. But one thing I do like, or maybe two, is that you have the relationship between Antonio Banderas and the girl. You have a father who has a daughter, but right now it's kind of estranged. It's not really doing well. He's been back and forth in the military, and her father is not there as well. So they need each other. And we get these character moments between them two where they kind of let their guards down, and you can see that they care about each other. And that's something that I think this movie does a very, very good job with, is handling kind of like the father-daughter relationship that they start to build. And another one is when we first meet Ben Kingsley and Antonio Banderas. And this is where the movie shines, because you see these two actors really giving it in a movie that maybe doesn't deserve it, or maybe they're too good for. And we're gonna get into all of that, the acting, the head-to-head, the action and good stuff. But first, Kiro Brand gonna help us pay them bills. Oh yeah, you saw your boy? Did you see him? I'm just saying, did you see your boy? But on the real, guys, go on and holler at Kiro Brand in the link below. See something you like, cop it, get yourself a shirt. So let's talk about Antonio Banderas and Ben Kingsley. This is a movie that I feel needed more of them, because when you have them either talking to each other or you had them face to face in that brief encounter, you know, this movie really works. I'm like, man, these two guys really make this interaction happen, but we spend a lot of time with kind of like Home Alone traps and stuff inside of the mall to get rid of the, you know, of course, nondescript bad guys that we're just gonna kill off, which are cool. We have some great action sequences. We got a fight with Antonio Banderas. He like slides on the floor. He's shooting like 4 or 5 people. You know, he's aiming everywhere. It's real cool. You even have a young lady who's shooting an arrow. There's a lot of cool stuff to enjoy, but with the fact that it seems formulaic and you take the 2 best parts out of your movie that could really ratchet up the tension, I think we end up with some problems. So is this movie worth it? Yes and no. And that's what's gonna lead me to my score, which if you've already checked out the thumbnail, depending on the site that you're on, you already kind of know. But I'm gonna put this movie right at 2.5 stars. That's because this movie isn't great, but it's not terrible. Is it worth your time? Sort of. I mean, you don't have to rush to see this, but I wouldn't say that this movie is complete garbage. I just say that this movie is formulaic. It's like a C student. You know what I'm saying? It's not great. It's not blowing your socks off, but it's not horrible either. There's some cool action scenes. There's definitely some, you can tell from a mile away coming deaths, but you do have a couple of gems with Antonio Banderas and the young girl, and definitely with him and Ben Kingsley. I don't know why this movie didn't use them head to head more. This really could have been like top-notch intensity with those two going head to head over and over. But some notable, you know, dope mentions are actually the sniper, the way he was killed. I thought that was cool. I also like the way they handled the cop situation and how they were coming by and patrolling the area. I like how they handled that too. But all in all, I think this movie is kind of where it needs to be. It's on Netflix. Wheelman, of course, is on Netflix as well. And I'm just saying that because I reviewed that recently. But Wheelman is definitely a cut above this film. But is it worth your time? I figure maybe if you're just chilling, you really don't have nothing to do and you're just flicking through and want an action flick to get you by, this will do it if you haven't seen it. So guys, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about Security. It's one of those middle of the road joints, man. That's all you can pretty much say. But before I bounce, I gotta tell you to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right, check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.ThatNERDSoul.com and pick up a t-shirt, player. And don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, share that Nerd Soul. That's right, there is no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. So, of course, LA, what up? BA, what up? RVA, you got my heart, and please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other. And remember, man, being a security guard isn't just patrolling and flashlighting and eating snacks in front of a monitor. Sometimes you gotta get dirty. Peace.